way Gravy Baby works is we rotate whose turn it is, and the other two just like, all right, Drew, all right, DJ, all right, Carmen, what's Gravy Baby? Meaning, what's good this week? And recently, he's been telling us about his poop pyramid.
Okay, I almost don't even want to ask.
Which side are you on?
We have on the line to comedian Drew Morgan. He has a special out on Amazon Prime. This is not actually from the special, but he did send us this audio last night. And so let's go ahead and play that so folks can get an idea of kind of some of the stuff that he does.
Sure. Yeah, and our apologies for no video on this clip. We had some technical gremlins this morning with our OBS system. So
Indeed.
I don't know why I ever paid my student loans, ever. Like, you know what happens if you don't pay them? Do you guys know? They ruin your credit. That's it. They ruin your credit. Is there anyone here who's a millennial or younger who gives a single fuck about credit? Credit? We're all going to be living on the coast of Colorado in 35 years. Working for Raytheon Farms. Putting in an 18-hour shift for our robot overlords. I get off work, they're fucking our women, not letting us watch. I'm dying inside and out. It's like, oh, at least I got good credit. Fuck that. I will put heroin on credit right now.
All right. Comedian Drew Morgan, welcome to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
That was something.
Yeah, that was something. But you know, it'll hopefully folks enjoyed it. You know, it's good to have a foil sometimes, I think.
Yeah, you got to bounce your ideas off of people. The marketplace of ideas, one of the worst ideas liberals ever had as far as how to decide policy, but it is a fun way to spend 2 hours.
It is. Indeed. I would agree with that. It can definitely be fun. But yeah, like Adam said, you know, you just like maybe there should be more child labor debates, because, you know, I kind of find myself like, oh man, I don't know how, you know, it's almost difficult to defend the position that children shouldn't be working because it just seems so intuitive.
I tell you what, man, in the day and age of the internet and like the way we talk about platforming and all that, God, I hate referencing this guy. I don't think I've ever brought him up on a podcast, but it feels appropriate here. Andrew Tate has taught me that putting somebody on just because they're ridiculous can turn dangerous, because there are 13-year-olds in the world who are extremely dumb and extremely, and then there's also horrible people in the world who are keeping it in until someone with a big following with a lot of clout says it's okay to say these things, and then they're like, oh yeah, I felt that way my whole life, and you're like, what? We played basketball together in high school. You think what? So yes. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure that one out, fellas.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's definitely folks smarter than either of us thinking about it. So, you know, we'll let them think about that. But definitely that's certainly something to be said about that. So you've got a special coming out on Amazon Prime, or it is out. It is out on Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, it came out February 19th. To my future kids, I'm sorry. It's behind a paywall. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing I can do about the fact that it's Bezos. Hollywood is a cruel, cruel machine. It's funny. I talk to people back home. They're like, why didn't you do Netflix? I'm like, you know what? You're right. Netflix came and they said, we want to do it, Drew. And I had to turn them down because I wanted to be on Amazon Prime behind a $6.99 paywall. But I'm proud of it. It is, I will not warn people, but let them know. It's a pandemic special. I don't spend a lot of time on it, but it was recorded at the end of 2021, if I'm doing my math right. And I thought it was going to come out quicker. But like I said, Hollywood sucks.
Gotcha. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't yet,
Absolutely.
but I definitely will check it out. To My Future Kids, I'm Sorry, on Amazon Prime, comedy special by Drew Morgan. And there's and your whole trio, the well-read comedy folks, each of y'all have a special on Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, we recorded them all at the same time, all together there in Nashville at Zany's, our home club. And I mean, they're all very different, but there's some, I guess, overlapping themes. For anybody listening, Trey Crowder is the liberal redneck. He's part of the well-read crew. Corey Forrester is the other third member. Yeah, we're kind of like a band, but all front men. That's sort of how we've been operating for the last 5 years or so. But I think that's probably sort of ending, not like a breakup band, but just like everybody getting a solo career going. But yeah.
Right. And then you also have a podcast called Gravy Baby. What kind of stuff y'all talk about on Gravy Baby?
Oh man, I'm so proud of Gravy Baby. I see your background animation by the great Solo Monk. Solo Monk
Yes.
just sent me an animation for our intro.
Hell yeah.
Gravy Baby was born out of sort of trying to shake the lockdown, quarantine, protests, just the whole. I mean, look, I even say something like this in my special. We're not doing good. It feels like America's going through a divorce and we hate the kids.
Right.
Gravy Baby was born out of that sort of feeling and not wanting to wallow in it or think about it anymore. So we call it Good Vibes for Trash People. Sorry, my wife's just exiting the house real quick. We call it Good Vibes for Trash People because it's sort of, it's not a parody of, but we look at all this like self-help, positive thinking will change your life. And me and my good buddy DJ and my good buddy Carmen Morales, we think that's stupid. It offends us in our souls to hear people kind of do the Gwyneth Paltrow thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought, yeah, but cynical, shitty people, we deserve joy too. So here's a podcast where we're going to do joy and we're going to do live, laugh, love. But instead of coming at it from this, like, let's all just open our eyes and now we meditate, we're like, nah, man, what fucking made me happy this week? I told a cop he was fat. All right, let's talk about it. That's what brings me joy, baby. Here we go. Let's get into it. And it's been really awesome, like really genuinely awesome. What sucks is, God, this sucks so bad. And this was kind of a fear of mine. I avoided like working out and meditating for years because I was afraid I'd become one of those people. It's starting to happen, dude. I'm like, now we come in there, we're like, oh my God, it's so good to see you, dude. We haven't recorded in 2 weeks. I've missed you. And it's like, oh, we're positive people now. But it's also kind of cool.
Well, that sounds great. Do you have any particular story that you would want to highlight and give folks a taste of what they'd be able to hear on the Gravy Baby podcast? Sure.
So DJ Lewis, aka Gutter Bumpkin, aka the Goat King, he has a goat that's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
so
I'm
the way the way Gravy Baby works is we rotate whose turn it is, and the other two just like, all right, Drew, all right, DJ, all right, Carmen, what's Gravy Baby? Meaning, what's good this week? What's going on with you? And recently he's been telling us about his poop pyramid.
Okay. I almost don't even want to ask, but I guess I have to because I already opened this can of worms.
Well, it's a double entendre. It's funny you mentioned worms because worms are involved.
Oh,
okay.
DJ's been trying to become a soul doctor.
A soul doctor?
Soil. Sorry.
Soil. Okay.
Yeah. So like he's farming now.
Okay.
And he's been dealing with worms, and he's got this dog that's a goat named Nessie. So he's got goat poop coming out the yin yang, right? So he's been trying to figure out how to dry her poop out and then help turn it into compost, because apparently goat poop is high in nitrates, right? So he's telling us about this and his plan. And the more he's talking about his business model for how he's going to do it, because he's only got one goat right now.
You gotta start small.
Right.
We realized about 5 minutes in that DJ's accidentally creating a pyramid scheme. A goat poop pyramid scheme. He's like, all right, here's what I got, buddy. All right, I don't have enough goats, but there's other people out there who either have goats or they want goats, and they're always asking me advice about getting goats. And I'm like, look, an only goat is a lonely goat. So you can't have one goat, you got to get 2 goats. But then I got to thinking, if they got 2 goats and I teach them how to do the poop thing, I can't supply everybody with the fertilizer. But between the 2 of us, and he goes, and he's like, I'm like, all right, well, so what? Like, you're going to give them license to put the name of your, and he's like, well, I hadn't thought about that. I guess I give them license, or maybe they pay me, but then if they're losing money, the next person will pay them. And then the next person, and I go, you just made a multi-level marketing scheme with goat shit. You are the purest soul that has ever lived. And then, so that was his poop pyramid. And then a week later, he was talking about having to clean out the septic tank of his RV.
Oh, lovely.
And it was frozen and it was full and he was struggling with it. And he was telling us about it. And then he goes, and man, I was just miserable down there shoveling, doing all this stinking, trying not to get it on me. And I look over at the shape of this frozen thing I've created. It was a goddamn poop pyramid. 2 weeks in a row, I had a poop pyramid in my life. So that really cracked us up.
There you go. Well, folks,
Nice.
you definitely got to listen. Gravy Baby, wherever you get your podcast, presumably, right? Or are you exclusive to one platform?
No, as far as I know, it's everywhere. What I tweet out, what I tell people is you can get this podcast everywhere you could get them in 2018. If there's new stuff, I'm not learning about it. I don't have it in me. I'm sorry. I know you love the app, Jeezel Beezel or whatever it is, and that's great. And I believe in you. And I'm sorry that I don't have whatever phone you have or whatever it is, but the big 8 or whatever, it's on there. Yeah.
All right. There you go.
And before we let you go, I just wanted to say for our audience who may have missed this or may have forgotten about it, Drew Morgan was one of the comedians who was at the Strike Fest that we helped organize back in 2021. God, it's been a while.
2 years ago almost. It'll be in May 2 years ago.
Yeah. So
freaking loony.
Yeah. Almost 2 years ago, we held the in-person Strike Fest to benefit the striking miners in Brookwood. Drew was one of the great comedians there. DJ Lewis, who he was just discussing, he was there. They were both just freaking hilarious. Jacob and I went to see them here in Huntsville at Stand Up Live a couple months later. And I saw you're going to be in my neck of the woods. You're going to be at the Princess Theater in Decatur, the historic Princess Theater in Decatur, right? Is that true?
No,
or?
I think that's just Trey. I think that's
just Trey. Okay.
Trey only, Dave. Yeah, you probably saw it on the website. Yeah.
So yeah, but y'all definitely support Drew, DJ, Trey. You know, I love comedians, but I love comedians who also support the cause and, give a damn about working people. So, looking forward to your Amazon special, man. Thank you so much for coming on and for everything you're doing.
Hey, yeah, I appreciate that, y'all. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate what y'all do. I think I told y'all this when I met you. My dad was a railroad union guy. Fuck Joe Biden off top on that one. But yeah, I think in my house and my family growing up, really Christian, but then really union. And I think it kind of created a very healthy, respect and distrust for the two-party system we got going on in America.
Yeah.
And anyway, I just appreciate that. And whoever's listening to y'all, I know y'all got a lot of great fans. I appreciate working people. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you again.
Hell yeah.
All right. So that was something different.
For sure.
I enjoyed that. That's always been one of my own personal insecurities is that I'm not a very funny person. I don't feel like I'm a very funny person. So I would like to incorporate more fun stuff like that. Having the comedian Drew. I'm not talking about the child labor lawyer. That was obviously not fun. That was very real. Very serious.
So.
But yeah, do want to, so let us know what you thought about what you thought about that. I enjoyed it.
If you guys,
Drew is seriously hilarious. If you didn't find it funny today, it was only because we were tracking him down. So check out his solo stuff. It's very funny, but I thought he was funny today.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I had a great time when we saw him and the crew at Stand Up Live. And I wanted to put the call out to our audience. If you know any comedians or you follow any comedians that you think would be pretty simpatico with our politics, let us know. Let them know, right?
Yeah.
would love to do some collaborations. We're down for collaborations, and that includes with funny people, because I think it's important to reach people where you can in different means and methods. And so, if we can hit some folks with some comedy and spread the gospel of solidarity, then we're all about it.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.